What if I told you that building a photographic memory might actually be possible, and that I've put myself through the ultimate memory challenge to find out? Imagine being able to flip through the pages of a book in your mind, recall the tiniest of details from days ago, or even play a complex chess match entirely blindfolded. Sounds insane, right? Today, I'm going to break down everything I've learned through research and experimentation about crafting a photographic memory and put it to the test with a challenge that pushes my recall skills to the absolute limit. Before we dive in, take a moment to hit that subscribe button and tap the bell icon. Here at the Growth Mindset Project, we're all about giving you the tools to stretch your mind and reach your potential. So don't miss out. All right, let's get started. If someone had told me a couple of years ago that I could train myself to have memory superpowers, I would have laughed. My memory was average at best. Visualizing even something basic, like an apple, was a struggle. But that started to change the moment I decided to get intentional and systematic. What I'm about to share isn't a mystical trick. There's no secret pill. Instead, it's grounded in science. Let's talk about what we really mean when we say photographic memory. For most people, it conjures up images of someone flipping through a book once and later reciting every word perfectly. While perfect photographic memory is still up for debate among scientists, there are absolutely methods and habits that can get you remarkably close, boosting your recall, observation, and mental snapshot abilities. The first secret is what I call the energy equation. Your brain, just like your body, needs fuel to work at its best. This is foundational. If you're wondering why your memory struggles, the answer might be as simple as what you put on your plate, how much you move, and how you sleep. Let's break that down. First, focus on your diet. Protein is key. That's because neurotransmitters, the messengers that carry information in your brain, are built from protein. Next, antioxidants, found in things like berries and dark chocolate. They protect your brain cells from damage. And don't forget omega fatty acids, especially omega-3 and 6 from fish and nuts. Think of them as brain boosters that help your neurons fire more effectively. But it's not just about food. If you spend your days sitting around, you're missing out on a massive memory upgrade. Exercise increases blood flow and oxygen to your brain, making your thought processes sharper. Plus, the lactate generated during exercise, your brain actually uses it as fuel. That means every brisk walk, every jog or trip to the gym is literally feeding your memory. And then there's sleep. I know you don't want to hear it, but sleep isn't negotiable if you want to build a photographic memory. It's during deep rest that your brain consolidates what you've learned, organizing new information and preparing it for later recall. On the flip side, poor sleep undermines your willpower and drains your ability to stick to every other healthy habit. 8 hours a night, that's your magic number. Those three pillars, diet, exercise, and sleep, are simple, but they're non-negotiable. Small tweaks in these areas make a huge impact on how easily your mind captures and keeps new information. If you've made it this far, hit the like button and let me know in the comments. What's your biggest memory win or fail? I love reading your stories, but let's be real. Optimizing your health is just the foundation. Now, it's time for the part you've been waiting for. Tactical, actionable memory training you can start today, because even with optimal brain health, you won't develop near photographic memory unless you actively work that brain muscle. First, challenge yourself with games that demand focus and analysis, things like Sudoku, crosswords, and especially chess. These activities train your mind to capture details, spot patterns, and stretch your working memory. And believe me, the difference is real. Top chess players routinely crush memory tests outside their specialty just from constant mental gymnastics. But what about specific drills to build a photographic memory? I've tested dozens, and here are my top 3, no matter where you're starting. Drill 1. Think back to someone you recently met for the first time. Picture their name, then recall one tangible detail about them. Maybe their hairstyle, a unique accessory, or a hobby they mentioned. Keep stacking on details, aiming to recall more each time you try. Not only will this sharpen your memory, it's an instant boost for your social game since people love when you remember them. And here's the thing, even if you have a hard time visualizing images in your mind, something called aphantasia, you can still recall details as facts or concepts. The exercise flexes the memory muscle, not just the visualization one. Drill 2 is a 4-week powerhouse that trains total recall. Week 1. Every night, write out the events of your day from memory. Week 2. Put away the journal, but mentally review your day as a series of snapshot images instead of words. Week 3. Up the ante by replaying your day in your mind like a movie, focusing on richer details. Week 4. Replay your entire day from start to finish mentally, as clearly as possible. Trust me, if you stick with it, you'll find yourself naturally remembering things from days or even weeks ago with startling clarity. Here's your 6-minute reminder to like, subscribe, and drop a comment on your own memory hacks or challenges. Your support helps the channel grow. Plus, you won't miss the latest brain-boosting insights. All right, back to training. Drill 3 is called the Journey Technique, an introduction to the legendary Memory Palace method used by memory champions. Start by picking a familiar place, like your home or school. Walk through it in your mind, listing out as many vivid details as you can. The worn doormat, the mug on the table, the color of each room. Once you can recall these clearly, test yourself with somewhere you haven't visited in a long time. The more you practice, the more entrenched every nook of that space becomes in your mind. Over time, this becomes the foundation for storing and retrieving huge quantities of information, a supercharged, almost photographic memory at your disposal. Now, no memory transformation would be complete without a real-world trial. That's where the ultimate blindfolded chess challenge comes in. Imagine playing a full game with no board, just memory and visualization carrying you. Every piece, every position, every past move, held in your mind's eye with no visual cues. That's the test I set for myself. With a family member as my opponent and a serious bet on the line, I sat blindfolded, reciting every move and mentally tracking the evolving chessboard. Each piece taken or moved required reconstructing the layout again and again. Pure recall. With nothing but the training and techniques I'd shared, I relied on memory stamina, willpower, and a bit of adrenaline. It wasn't flawless. Mid-game, after a complicated exchange, I felt my grasp of the layout slipping. Who had which pieces? Which squares were safe? I paused, replayed the entire sequence of moves in my mind, stitched together every mental snapshot from the start, and found the thread again. Checking for mistakes, catching illegal moves, seizing on small openings, it all came down to focus and recall. As the game wound down, with both sides in chaos and my opponent pushing hard for that win, my brain was straining. But the drills, the practice, and the foundations held. I tracked every piece, found checkmate, and finished victorious, purely from memory. If you want to know exactly how I trained up to this point and learn the ultimate memory technique, the Mind Palace, watch the next video I made just for you. Hit the bell so you never miss updates from the Growth Mindset Project. See you in the next one.